Alright, so today is my first CS2 tips and tricks video. CS2's been out for about 2 years now, so the meta's kind of defined, new stuff has been found, and I can make a good tips and tricks video. If you guys remember the CSGO, like next level nade series that I have, I'm trying to just bring that back, but a little bit different. So today's video, every single piece of utility I'm showing you is really, really good, and I want to make sure it's all useful or could be used in any sort of strat you come up with, and just easy lineups for you to remember too. So if you guys want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments section below, and let's hop right into the video. And to start it off, we're going to be on everyone's favorite map, Mirage. If you don't know these window smokes and you are level 10, please God learn them. This is like one of the most common spawns and the easiest lineup. You just aim here, W jump throw. And then this is another one, like honestly you can get away with only knowing these two. And then this lineup is like halfway up the window, you're gonna see this stain right here. It's kind of a faint stain, but you're just aiming like right above it and W jump throw. In this video, I'm probably going to show a lot of like mid-round utility because most people just don't know it, and it's probably some of the most important utility that you can throw. So let's say you somehow like are out B and you killed the B anchor. Now you're wondering what to do. My personal favorite, if I still have a smoke. So if you want to smoke market window from Van, you're just going to aim like above this line thing right here, and then left click. And then now let's say you want to throw it from default. Here's the easiest lineup. Pretend this corner stretches all the way out. Just go anywhere in the middle of it, left and right click, and then stand up. Like this one you really can't lurk out of. And if you try to jump in the window, they see your gun barrel like, wow, you're jumping out with the A1. All right, to end Mirage for this part of the video, I'm gonna show you all the stuff you need to go out A. It's a lot. If you know these, you'll actually be useful because apparently all of my FACEIT teammates love to just sit top Tetris with full util and do absolutely nothing. So here's deep jungle. Top connector, CT spawn. If you want to molly default and firebox, let's say there's no info, you can do this. And let's say there is info that he has fire, you can do this. So this molly lands, like, and if he tries to hit you with like running backwards, he's just tanking in the molly. And this is probably the coolest Molotov. Let's say you've crept completely out, you have no clue what's going on, no one's peeking you, so odds are, you know, someone's probably playing under balk. Or top balk. Let's say you have a guy in palace or just anyone here to like hold for you for a sec. You can just aim like slightly above this beam in this corner and left click. This molly will get top and bottom. All right, now we're on to everyone's new favorite pug map. And if you've played Ancient, you probably know, if you're at like a higher level, that some people have no fucking clue what's going on. So I've been throwing these smokes in my pugs where I get players that have no idea how to play Ancient, and it's genuinely been helping. So the first one, you're gonna just stand in front of this brick. It's like two different variations of it. This is a shelf smoke, because you know, it's sometimes in FACEIT, it's hard to get a teammate to run over here and just, you know, throw the molly and throw the HE. It's kind of tough to get a teammate to do that and face it. So if I can't get that, the shelf smoke goes down. And now usually your teammates don't die in 20 seconds. You can throw this smoke. If you aim closer to that leaf that I just looked at, here, I'll show you again. If you aim closer to the leaf, it lands inside cave, but sticks out just wide enough that the only angle they can peek you from is on the far right of it. And if he wants to see in the bucket, he has to swing into like here, and then you'll see him first since he's closer to the smoke than when he'll see you. And then the smoke is very easy to spam, as you can see. And let's say neither of those are working. Here's one that you can throw from the same spot. Just aim slightly more to the right, and then it will block everything. All right, so now I'm gonna go on over to the CT side. So usually best spawn throws the lane molly, and worst spawn for B throws this molly. Or the insta one, I don't care. This one really doesn't matter. I just like this molly because it lands a little deeper and gets this corner. But personally, this molly, if you don't know it, like please just learn it, and Ancient will be 100 times easier, and then I'll show you some other stuff you can do with it. So you're gonna left and right click, and then you're letting go like when you pass this, and then I'll show you where to aim. So left, right click, aiming at this blue line in the back, run, and then you want to be on like this side of the wall, and then if you hold W at this, you can bounce the flash. That one didn't really land perfect, but if you cross to the right side of cave and then look at this wall and hold W, there you go, that's better. It'll blind anyone on the timing of the rush if they try to tank the molly. So I know you've heard of off angles. I know you've heard of pre-fire angles, but have you heard of angles that change your elevation? I think the best way I can describe it is this spot right here in Cheetah. So on most CS2 maps, there are a lot of spots where you can see that you get bumped up a little bit. Let me aim straight ahead so you kind of see what I'm talking about. So you see as I'm jiggling these angles, I'm getting bumped up a little bit. I'm gonna put a bot here. So as you see, like his head moves diagonally in these angles, but he's still accurate. So let's pretend he's actually facing me and holding me. He's still accurate while doing this, but also makes it a way harder shot. If you get good at doing this on these angles, another thing in your playbook. So one really cool thing I found recently, like let's say you have a team that's playing really slow, or if you're the second B player, you could throw it pretty early. I use these 3 like cracks in the wall as a reference in like it's like diagonal. There's a million, but these 3 are really close to each other. And then you're just gonna put your crosshair just right where I do above this one, move out to the right, and then left click. It looks a little bit harder, but genuinely it's super easy to remember. And now this smoke lands like here. It's the easiest spam war ever. Last thing I want to show on Ancient for right now, which is probably the coolest thing that I found. So this is my lineup for a donut retake smoke, because you know most teams are gonna plant here and probably play 2 in donut. So if you know they're playing a donut post plant, usually this part of the map is pretty safe, because why would they be pushing spawn if they're in donut just chilling? All right, so after you told your teammates not to go retake donut, you're gonna go to here. I used to line this up aiming at the stain, but I felt like it would miss sometimes just because that lineup was hard to get perfect. But an easier way that I found to line it up, so you're gonna see this like, there's like a stain right here of mud. And it has a little dot. I mean, it's pretty easy to see because no matter what, if you're touching this brick and looking down, your crosshair is like right on it. And then you're just gonna, so if you're trying to line it up, I guess you could do this, but if you want to make sure you hit it, you probably want to look at the ground. All right, so let's say you're playing Anubis and nothing is working. Here are 2 smokes that you can throw at the start of the round that kind of let you freestyle it. You're probably gonna want to have a buddy with this. This is the lurk smoke. Pretty standard smoke these days, but if you don't know it, there's a lineup. And then you're gonna wanna throw this smoke. This is also a pretty standard smoke these days, but this is the E-box lurk smoke. You get next to these phones and then just aim at this corner and jump throw. Both smokes are jump throw, by the way, if you couldn't tell. And then now E-box is blocked, B main is blocked, and you can mix and match your defaults however you see fit. I would say, they're like, maybe especially the first time you're throwing this, you're definitely gonna wanna have someone taking a main control in any way. Like let's say you don't know any mid util, everyone should probably know this at this point, but there's the right side door. This Molly isn't as good, but it is the easiest one to throw. So if you're gonna throw that one, you probably wanna follow it up with a nade. But if you want to throw the good one, I aim at this far right, like lamp looking thing. Jump on top, aim right here, jump throw. So this Molly like spreads and covers everything and even gets this corner. And if you guys don't know a flash for mid, I'm sure you know you can just smoke it on the fly. Or if you don't want to smoke it on the fly through their smoke, you can just aim up from here up to the top of that and throw. But if you don't know a flash, I usually just stand anywhere and aim right there. This flash like bounces off the wall, gets the op. Pretty impossible to turn from unless they're playing anti-flash. And now time for the fun stuff. This is the cool stuff on Anubis. I wanted to get through all of the like, God, I wish my FACEIT teammates knew this. But now here's the cool stuff. All right, so let's say you're ever lurking mid and you want to sell a fake for your teammates. This is pretty good in like a 3v3, a 3v2, just any like low man situation. So you're gonna want to get in this corner, aim right where I do, and then left click. This smoke is gonna bounce and then land right in for temple. And then here's an easier lineup for the same smoke that you can use for like lurking mid or dropping down. You just aim at just get in the middle of the bridge window and then aim to the right, like just out in the open of this, and then left click. And then if you guys don't know the full nade set by now, this is OP in pugs, especially if you have teammates that are talking and will actually give you the util late round. So if you have smoke, molly, flash, flash, here's the full util set. All you need is one more smoke from a teammate just to kind of, you know, throw it in camera. So you're gonna wanna make sure you're in this corner, not this corner. There's like 2 corners here for some reason. All right, so in this corner, heaven smoke, sight molly. I aim like a little bit above this crack right here. And then here are the flashes. I aim right here, jump throw. This gets almost everywhere on the site. And let's say it's like an eco round, or you could throw this in a gun round too, where you expect them to have MP9s. because, you know, everyone plays this orange tarp right here. This is probably the best thing you can throw on an eco round. Smoke heaven, just aim in the middle of the box, jump throw. And then you're gonna aim at the top of the box, jump throw a molly, and then jump throw the flash. Because if this guy gets hit by the molly, he's either gonna push forward, and then if he backs up off the molly, he just eats that flash. And then you can also get crazy with it. Like, don't be scared to just throw like HEs through these windows. On over to CT side, which I feel like is what gets all the hate for Anubis, but I think Anubis is like one of the most fun maps in general. I genuinely like Anubis, but if you're the B player on CT side, this is super good to know. So you're just gonna get against this corner. There's two options for this flashbang. Let's say they're coming out B, you can just aim at the sun, right click a flash, and that's basically undodgeable. Now let's say they're running into E box. You can get in the same spot. You're aiming at this line in the wall right here. And now you can like flash a teammate into E box. He might hear it bounce first, but you can cover that sound if you really want by an HE, and then wait a sec. You can also molly like that if you want, and then peek behind it. All right, so this is a 3 smoke combo. This will probably work best off the 2 smoke combo that I showed earlier in Anubis, but all 3 of these smokes can be used in any scenario. You can use them in a default, you can use them in a fake, you can full up execute off them, but I'll let you kind of theory craft it, but I'll just show the lineups. All right, so for deep CT or like street, I aim at this big gap in the leaves. This is probably the only hard one. And then I go to the left. So I'm aiming right here, and then I'm moving to the left until my crosshair is like on this like flat part of the wall. And then I jump through. This is probably the only one that actually takes real practice to get it to line up consistently without gaps. And it's like one of the optional ones. Here's the 2 cool ones. So there's a shadow that goes from like here. You're just aiming at this line, jump through. And then for E-box, you're crouching, aiming at the tip of like the spear looking thing right here, and then jump through. So now you have everything, or you can do palace and E-box. I also like throwing this E-box smoke on ecos, because if you have a teammate with a Mac 10, like the only way these guys can play E-box is if they're full fighting you. So most of the time they're just gonna like give it up. And then if you really want, you can, like if this is clear, you can clear the smoke real quick. And then now this lets you like, you can smoke temple again. And if you're really trying to get sweaty, like while the smoke's fading, just imagine it's a T molly and it spreads to like here too as well while that smoke's fading. There's a lot of options you can do with that smoke. So my next tips and tricks video is going to be more on like spots and movement and like positioning and stuff like that. So if you guys want to watch, subscribe, that'll be out very soon. All right, Inferno, everyone's least favorite map. Inferno is probably one of the most util heavy maps in the game, and now that this banana is wider, taking banana is a whole lot harder, so there's some more things that you're going to want to know. I'll just start on CT side, to be honest, for this one, because that's where util matters the most. Now that taking banana is a little bit harder, this is probably going to become more used. This is the Retake Car Utility. You're probably going to want to have your other teammate either sitting here or sitting here ready to fight. And then this does work best with a T molly. So if you ever get a T molly, give it to your B player so you can do this. So yeah, just get on top of first, get in the middle of this, aim right where I do on this piece of metal behind the leaf. For the molly, aim right where I do, crouch, left click. So you still have an HE, you can just like, while the molly's landing, and let's say you don't want to peek with it, and you just want to drop back to sight, you can just aim like, kind of anywhere where you threw the molly. Another cool one on banana, which I think is pretty funny. A lot of teams now, or just a lot of people in general, are like smoking this. And let's say you could probably pull this out 1, maybe 2 rounds a half. If you get a third, like if you know they're smoking banana, and you get a second smoke like left to you, this smoke is probably my favorite smoke in CS2 just because of how funny it looks. So you're gonna get in this corner, aim right where I do, and left click. And now this smoke blocks literally everything. And I just couldn't imagine being the person that like rotates into banana and then they see this. Cause like, what do you do about that? I'll show you some more. If you guys enjoy these kind of videos, let me know. And if you want to see more stuff like this, just more knowledge being spread, let me know. I'm trying to just make sure it's actually like good things that I'm putting in this video. Back to Inferno. I'm going to be on the T side. I'm just going to show you a couple different ways to smoke Arch, because you can use them based on different things you're going for. Like that one is pretty good on a fake, because it sounds like you're jumping into halls. Here's a fast one. W jump throw. And then now here's one you can throw from inside of Mexico. And if you don't know how to smoke Moto from top mid by now, because the old CSGO lineup was a lot easier, you just get anywhere right here against this middle part of the wall, you're gonna aim right here, and then jump through. So it's focusing more in the mid round and keeping it simple. So let's say any of your teammates actually know how to smoke Arch, and now you're sitting in mid doing absolutely nothing. Here's some options. You can wrap A, just aim at the left side of this window on the left side of this, like inside a bracket. Jump throw. Or if you want to wrap B, you can get on the right side of this and then aim at the right side of the window. I'm a big fan of throwing the smoke and doing absolutely nothing. Maybe like holding for this guy or like trying to fight him. And then while that smoke is fading, just like smoking into library and trying to wrap the site. Like this smoke puts so much pressure on the A players that they might just forget about B and might just overthink everything and just start pushing into their death. A good molly to know, especially on like ecos or just in general. Let's say you have a teammate like walking up halls trying to get to the end, and you guys are maybe have an extra molly, or you're just trying to put some pressure on A. You can stand like anywhere against these mailboxes, aiming anywhere against these windows. And this will molly like the entrance to balcony and right here. So it either forces him to push in or drop off. And now let's say that guy is like cleared halls and you just want to like have him maybe go out or set up for a pick. You can just get anywhere underneath this like roof real quick. Just move to the right a little bit, then aim at this window. And now this is like a pretty undodgeable pit flash for this guy. And if you're feeling really crazy, or let's say you know there's nobody in pit, or you're taking a risk, you can like run throw off this window while you're running into sight. This is a classic from CSGO if you remember it. That's a really good flash. And then if you're ever walked up sight, you can clear most of this just by spamming. And then if you want to clear sight, you can bounce the molly. Hopefully not like I did, but... And then before we jump off Inferno, I'm going to show you guys all the essential B util real quick. So there's two ways you can smoke CT spawn. This is the one that's been around for a while. You're in this corner. Aim right here on this pole. Left and right click. W jump throw. Here's another easy one to do it. You're aiming at this dot in this corner. Left right click. So there's two different variations for the coffin smoke. One's an easy one that doesn't, I don't think is as good, and then one's a better one that gets the top as well. So the harder one is in this corner. You're gonna aim along this half wall right here. This one takes a little practice, right where I do. Jump throw. And now I wouldn't say it's a bad one, but the easier one, you can just crouch, aim above this second light, jump throw. I mean, left click. And then here is the new box molly. Everyone probably knows this one by now. And then here is probably my favorite molly for first and second oranges. One of my favorite things that I do a lot is I'll throw this molly, especially on ecos. And then you see this pole that's like sticking out over the roof. You're just aiming right here. So you probably want to do like HE first, just to soften him up. Molly. Maybe get to this corner, see if he swings. All right, on over to the classic good old Dust 2. Today, I'm gonna show you guys just all the good stuff, because there's not too many smokes you need to know on this map, but I'm gonna try to just show you guys all the good stuff. There's not any, this map isn't crazy, it's just, you need to know these. So get behind the car, aim in the bottom right of this corner, move to the right where you're like above this AC vent, And then you're gonna run and jump throw like one step or right when you pass this like roof. All right, and real quick, let's say you ever want to go late B. Here's everything you need to know because it's super easy. Just tuck all the way in this corner. There's this like top broken part of the wall, or like the stain on the wall. You're gonna aim right here at the bottom of it. That's door. And then you're gonna aim at this dot right here, and that's window. And let's say you're ever rushing B and you want to have a good flash just for yourself while your teammates are throwing, let's say, the normal flashes like over here. So you're gonna run in normally, aim at the top of the arrow. All right, if you're having a hard time taking mid and you probably just need someone, especially when you don't have an op, you probably just need someone throwing this. This is just good to know for anything. So if you want to smoke door, you just jump down here, aim in the bottom right of this like lock, and that'll smoke door. So with this smoke, you can throw the door smoke, and then while you're jump spotting, let's say you'll see him pushing the lower, you can call it. And if you don't see anything, or you see one in lower, or your teammates are in lower, you can flash cat very easily. You can throw it, like if your teammates are further up lower, you can just stand over here and throw it over lower. Speaking of utility that everyone needs to know, the long cross smoke with only one smoke is super easy. You just stand next to this bin and then aim there. If you don't know this, I feel bad for you. But here's a fun one. This is the deep CT smoke. This one can be good whenever your teammates have cat. You're just gonna aim in the middle of this, like, wiring setup they got going on here. Get in this corner, aim in the middle, left and right click jump throw, and then you'll watch how it bounces. And then boom, you got a CT smoke. Mid to B, most people know this, but quick refresher if you don't, get in this corner. I look for this like bright piece of wood right here, and then I just aim like down to the left, and I never miss it. Let's say you're out here and you have to catch your timing. Where you want to throw it is you want to throw it like in this box, because then that will at least like spread up and block window. And if you throw it, like if you throw the old school mid to B smoke, the one that used to just be like this, and I still see people in level 10 FACEIT throwing this, you are trolling, because now this guy can walk out behind the smoke. I mean, do I really have to say anything about this? I mean, and also if the guy has decent movement, he can jump up on here and just see over, or even peek out. Like there's a lot, that smoke's terrible. So if you're ever thrown on the fly, just like throw it into that box between, I know you're gonna have this gap here, but it's better than having the big gap. At least with this one, they can kind of see door, but you can get up window. That's like worst case scenario. All right, and here's the coolest smokes on the map. I believe I saw this from Spirit. This is a Spirit approved strategy. So, and they're both really easy to throw. So you're just gonna have someone drop you a smoke like right here, which should be pretty easy to handle. And then you're gonna line up with this step. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 step. Line up with the 4th step, stay crouched, and then you're aiming at like, split this window into thirds. You're aiming at the bottom left third. There's a couple dots there if that helps with you. And now the smoke's gonna bounce and extend down to here. And then the other smoke you're gonna throw from the same spot is the same left and right click. You could throw that as a fake and go out mid to B with the smokes being here. That's mostly everything you really need to know on T side Dust 2. All right, so here's the only things you need to know for CT side that are like interesting or good. So if you don't know how to smoke long doors from spawn, you just get in this corner, aim at the top of this like roof where the wiring meets it, and then jump throw. That smoke's gonna land in the door and block it completely. Last thing on Dust 2 always happens. Your teammates get rushed B and you lose. So let's say you're actually gonna go for it and you have full util. Instead of just like running through the smoke and dying, here's what you can do. Someone can lurk smoke. This is optional. Like this smoke just blocks a lot of angles and it makes it a little bit easier to get out off the flashbangs. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think if you're retaking, you might as well just play off whatever util you have and just go crazy. Don't give them smokes that they can hide in and ruin all your timings. If you're ever smoked off, let's say you even smoked window and door, you can re-smoke into tunnels. Let's say even if you're smoked off window, long as you're on this like flat part before you start going down, this part right here, and you're aiming at this piece of wood, and then you move up to that piece of wood, and then just right click jump throw. That'll molly underneath the window. And then even easier if you're not smoked off, just get next to the wood, aim like at the far right of this crack, jump throw. This also can work with like a flash too. It's not the best flash, but it's really good for anyone holding like this off angle. And let's say you're the first person out. Like let's say your teammate's gonna throw the flash for you, and if you don't know what the flash is, like this is probably the best flash for retaking. You just aim at the bottom right of the door. It's pretty hard to dodge that, and it pops like right in a spot that kind of everyone would be looking. And let's say you're the first one out. If you line up, I mean, keep in mind that you can get peeked from this, but if you stand against this box and you aim at that like pillar, you can bounce a molly into Xbox. Or big box, whatever you want to call it. It also works pretty good to like throw a flash or an HE off that as the first flash to maybe like get the guy out of car to stop playing anti-flash, and then he peeks into the one that flies over the roof. And all in all, just like think about like all the opportunities, like there's a lot of flashes you can throw for yourself to retake. Like you can do some like basic ones, or you can do the actual lineup. Just make sure you're using everything at B or giving it to someone. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. This was all the pug maps for FACEIT. If you guys are in the Nuke and Train, I uploaded a part 2 on my second channel, also Ahrora, that will be linked in the description and the comments. So if you guys want to see more CS2 videos and just more videos in general, check out that channel. I'm trying to upload at least once a week, and thanks for watching.